Hello, everybody. This is Alan Elman, the Blue Collar Investor, and welcome to this BCI podcast number 122, titled, Should I Roll Out My Deep in the Money Call Option Mid-Contract? And we're going to be using a real-life example with JD.com Inc., which trades on the NASDAQ exchange under the ticker symbol JD. Now, there are numerous exit strategy opportunities that will arise during our contracts, but the ones that we focus in on when the call strikes move deep in the money with our covered call trades are rolling out or out and up and the mid-contract unwind exit strategy. Let's first talk for a moment about rolling out or out and up. This is where we buy back the near month option and sell a later expiration option. So if we're doing monthlies, we may buy back the August contract expiration and sell the September contract expiration. Now, generally, these are reserved for near expiration consideration. So as expiration Friday approaches, that's when we look to do our rolling strategies. Now, in our calculators that we provide in the BCI community, we use the What Now tab of these BCI calculators to run the numbers to determine whether or not we want to take advantage of these rolling exit strategy opportunities. Now, the other exit strategy that we consider when a call strike moves deep in the money is the mid-contract unwind exit strategy. And that's where we consider closing both legs of the covered call trade, the short call and the long stock position. And we use that when the time value component of the premium approaches zero. Now, as the strike moves deeper in the money, the intrinsic value component will get larger and larger and larger, and the amount of cash required to close that position will become greater and greater. So we need to have a cash reserve in our brokerage accounts. However, the key is whether we should use this or not is focused in on the time value cost to close, because the increase in share value, unrealized as it is, will negate the intrinsic value cost to close. So we're focusing in solely on the time value cost to close. And once we determine that figure, we have to decide, can we generate at least 1% more than this time value cost to close to make this exit strategy worthwhile, something beneficial to us that will allow us to enhance our positions. Now, we use the Unwind Now tab in the Elite or Elite Plus calculators to run the numbers for this particular exit strategy. Let's move to a real-life example now with JD. On 10/6/2020, 100 shares of JD was purchased at $76.94. On that same date, the 75 call was sold with an expiration of 11/6, so 1 month out, and a premium of $5.12 was generated. Now, that's not all profit because an in-the-money strike was used, but as you'll see in a moment, the calculator will run the math for us. Now, what happened? A week later, on 10/13, JD was now trading at 83.36. So it went from 76.94 up to 83.36. On that same date, 10/13, the cost to close, the ask price for closing the 75 call was $9.35. So now what we're going to first do is let's look to the initial trade structuring of the 1 month expiration contract. We feed that information into the blue cells of the multiple tab of the BCI calculators. Those of you who are also watching this podcast, you could enter that in the blue cells on the left side of the spreadsheet. JD trading at 76.94 and the 75 in the money call sold at 5.12 with an 11/6 expiration. calculator will then tell us that the time value initial profit is 4.2%. That's after deducting the $1.94 of intrinsic value from the 512 premium, 4.2% for 1 month, a nice robust return. Now, because it's an in-the-money strike, there is no upside potential. So if JD moves up, we do not benefit from it because we are contractually obligated to sell at the 75 strike. But because we do have an intrinsic value component, there is some downside protection of that time value profit, in this case, 2.5%. So what this means is we are guaranteed a 4.2% 1 month return as long as share value does not decline by more than 2.5% by the 11/6 expiration. Next, let's calculate the time value cost to close if both legs of the trade were closed when JD moved up to that higher price on the 13th of October. And the calculator will tell us that the time value cost to close is 99 cents a share or $99 per contract, which computes to 1.32%. So if we close that trade, it's going to cost us 1.32% of that original time value profit to close the trade. The question we ask ourselves, can we generate at least 1% more or 2.32% or higher by contract expiration? If the answer is yes, we can, then it may make sense to execute the mid-contract unwind exit strategy. So let's review our strategy considerations. Rolling out or out and up are generally reserved when in-the-money strikes are used and are deep in the money as the contract is expiring, not mid-contract, as the contract is expiring. We use the What Now tab for these calculations, but that's not the case with JD because we're still early in the contract, only 1 week into a 1 month contract. So since we're early in the contract and the strike did move in the money, we then will consider the Unwind Now tab to look at the mid-contract unwind exit strategy, but not for rolling considerations. We ask ourselves the following question. Can we generate more than 2.32% in option time value premium by 11/6 if we close our entire trade today, 10/13? That is the question we must answer before making a determination whether or not we want to execute the mid-contract unwind exit strategy. So our goal is to generate at least 1% more than the time value cost to close. Now, I must say, in this case, it's a pretty close call. 2.32% in about 3 weeks is possible, but because it's a close call and we're in such a great position to get a robust more than 4% return for 1 month, I would probably tend to take no action with this trade, but continue to monitor the trade. And who knows, maybe I'll be thinking differently as the numbers change. But for right now, I would lean towards taking no action. Now, if as expiration is approaching, the strike is still in the money, then we return to the What Now tab of the BCI calculators to see if rolling the option either out or out and up is beneficial to our portfolios and to our returns. Now, of course, this assumes that there's no earnings report coming out in the upcoming contract period. So let's summarize now. Exit strategies are critical to our overall success. There's no question about that. We must be skilled in this aspect of our trading strategy. We must not only identify these opportunities, but we must determine which ones to use and when to use them. Because position management is the third of the 3 required skills for mastering option selling, along with stock and option selection. Before I go, I want to point out our BCI Package, our best and most comprehensive educational package ever offered by the blue collar investor. It contains 18 items, 6 online video courses with downloadable workbooks, 6 calculators created by the blue collar investor and therefore found nowhere else, 5 of our best-selling books on both covered call writing and put selling, also in ebook format, and our annual premium membership, which contains all the reports, 4 reports of eligible securities for option trading, along with our online training program, expanded calculators, free ebooks, and much, much more. How to access information on the BCI package, go to our website, www.thebluecollarinvestor.com. Click on the link at the top that says BCI package, and you'll have information as well as a video detailing all the information you need to know, and we'll have everything you need to master all these option selling strategies. You will need nothing else. If you want to purchase these items individually, go to our store, www.thebluecollarinvestor.com/store, and there you will have our video courses, our ebooks, our soft and hard covered books, calculators and spreadsheets, and information on our one-on-one coaching program. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very, very much for taking the time to watch and or listen to this BCI podcast number 122, Should I Roll My Deep in the Money Call Option Mid-Contract? Folks, I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and most importantly, I hope you benefit from it. As always, this is Alan Ellman, the Blue Collar Investor. Take care, everybody.